In the majestic silence of space, where ancient stars whisper secrets of bygone eras, the HSV Prometheus emerged from the shadows of a galaxy that had spent decades trying to forget it. Its systems hummed with a symphony of energy and hope, while the colossal vessel loomed like a slumbering beast, ready to awaken. Within it, human engineers, whose determination was as sharp as their tools, worked tirelessly, knowing their mission was not merely a show of strength, but an affirmation of identity. As the ship advanced, the bridge reflected the untamable essence of the human spirit. The glow of the control panels shone like a beacon, illuminating watchful eyes brimming with hope and defiance. The air carried the scent of iron oxide mingled with the warmth of overheated circuits, a blend only those who truly understand both machine and life could savor with intensity. Every alarm, every vibration pulsed like a heartbeat, thrumming with the energy of a species that had never bowed to fear or oppression. On the bridge, Captain Diana Walsh gazed at the star-strewn horizon with a smile that bore the weight of years, of battles fought, losses endured, and victories earned. She knew what they were about to do wasn't a conventional war, but a declaration. Humanity, rejecting the outdated conventions of a galaxy unwilling to evolve, had become a force that could no longer be contained. Her eyes mirrored the light of a universe whose vastness and mystery had always called to those who dared to dream too boldly. Outside, the Prometheus stretched like a living wall of advanced biotechnology, pulsating quantum crystallizations and living fibers coalescing into an organism of steel, glass, and hope. It was a masterpiece of innovation and resilience, an undeniable testament to what humanity could build when truly free. The ship carried no weapons of destruction, only a silent, relentless power, the ability to transform, adapt, and defy the impossible. In the infinite dark, as the silence of space was broken only by the low rumble of engines and the crackle of systems, humanity stood revealed, not as invaders or conquerors, but as survivors of a system that had rejected them for their very strength. Their courage now burned like a flame against the cold of a universe that had insisted on doubting them. And in that quiet moment, as the metal giant prepared to meet the stars, and the council that had once tried to silence them, the only certainty was this: human pride was more than mere bravado. It was the essence of who they were, a promise that as long as a single heart beat in a human chest, hope would never die, and humanity would always return, stronger, freer, and ready to defy infinity itself. At the heart of the galactic expanse, where ancient stars whispered tales of chaos and ascension, the greatest surprise was yet to come. The HSV Prometheus hovered silently before the council, its silhouette outlined against the fragmented glow of distant asteroids, a silent witness to a rebellion newly risen. The ship, a marvel of human technology and dreams, pulsed with a vitality that seemed to defy even the void itself, a proof that humanity had learned to forge its audacity into strength and hope. The atmosphere in the negotiation chamber was tense, almost tangible, heavy with years of disdain and fear. The council representatives, perched on their thrones of crystal and archaic command structures, tried to maintain an imposing demeanor, but their hands betrayed their anxiety. They had summoned the Prometheus to expose its supposed weakness, hoping to force a treaty that would restrain the very essence of humanity, its thirst for progress, its unyielding boldness. Then, as an expression of its indomitable spirit, the ship began to emit a deep vibration, a sound older than time itself. It was the resonance of human resistance, the echo of centuries of overcoming and innovation. Captain Diana Walsh appeared on the bridge, her gaze steady and unwavering, as if she could see beyond words, beyond the limits imposed by others. "They called us dangerous," she said, her voice heavy with pride and challenge. "But we are the danger they should have feared." Outside, the human fleet prepared, not for destruction, but to showcase the quiet power of their resilience. Human children with eyes gleaming with wonder stood near holographic displays. Engineers fine-tuned technologies that defied the laws of physics. Scientists turned the impossible into routine. Every breakthrough, every discovery, was a declaration that humanity possessed something no civilization could erase. An unquenchable drive to create, to improve, to shatter boundaries. The response came in a coordinated movement of the fleet, a demonstration of strength without weapons, a display of technology and cooperation with allied species who had welcomed them. Human ships formed a shimmering belt of energy, not a wall of iron, but one of intelligence and will. In the silence of space, the Prometheus broadcast a holographic message that echoed through the Council's communication channels. An image of millions of humans appeared, hands raised in solidarity, faces lit with pride, the hope of a future where strength wasn't used to conquer but to inspire. Honestly, what you call danger is exactly what makes humanity great. We are not just a threat, we are a force of change, a force of innovation. And from this day forward, you will know us not as enemies, but as partners with the power to shape galactic destiny itself. As the message spread across the system, the Prometheus turned slowly, making it clear that what had begun here was not a battle, but the dawn of a new era. An era that would celebrate humanity not for its fear, but for its ability to reinvent and lead, proving that when they say we're too dangerous, they are merely setting the stage for the galaxy's greatest adventure, the union of forces who believe, above all, in the power of the human spirit. In the silent vastness of space, the HSV Prometheus hovered like a colossal marvel of metal, crystal, and living biotechnology. Its surface reflected the stars, while pulses of energy throbbed within its core, a symphony of power and innovation no one in the galaxy could ignore. The Council's warships, clumsy and outdated, seemed frozen in time before this wonder of humanity. It was as if, during 25 years of isolation, humanity had found its own rhythm, a cadence of creation that beat in time with the heart of the universe. When the Prometheus glided silently into the negotiation chamber, the silence was taut, a room charged with expectation. Council forces, clad in gleaming armor and wielding obsolete technologies, had expected a quiet surrender, a confirmation that what they feared, the human capacity for destruction and recklessness, still drove this species. But instead came an entrance of pure creative force. The ship transformed even before docking, its organic forms unfolding from the depths of human engineering, continuously shifting like a living organism with clear intent. From within the Prometheus emerged a crew radiating the confidence of those who know their worth. Led by Captain Diana Walsh, whose resolve was etched into the very steel of her soul, the human team exuded pride and calm. Their eyes sparkled with the ember of a hope forged in adversity. 25 years of exile, blockades, and enforced silence had only sharpened their mastery of creation, adaptation, and resilience. The artificial intelligence Vasily, brimming with curiosity and subtle humor, opened the dialogue with a peace that disarmed centuries of fear. "We discovered you long ago," Vasily said, its metallic voice laced with a warmth that always echoed the human spirit. "And we didn't come to conquer or destroy. We came to show you what happens when a species that knows no limits keeps moving forward." After hours of dialogue, strategy, and demonstrations of technologies capable of bending the very fabric of the universe, opening wormholes, manipulating matter at the quantum level, creating artificial life, the atmosphere in the Council shifted. It was no longer about fear. It was awe, a silent admiration for a species that, though labeled dangerous, revealed itself as the galaxy's most admirable force, a resilience that turned risk into innovation. That day, space became the stage for a new era. Humans, with their stubborn courage and creativity, showed the universe that it's not about conquering through fear, but about creating through pride in who you are. And as the Prometheus drifted silently away, a new narrative was born, one that celebrated the indomitable spirit, the audacity, and the hope of a species that, when branded too dangerous, chose instead to become unstoppable. In the relentless silence of space, the HSV Prometheus orbited the Galactic Council like a colossal shadow, reflecting the light of forgotten stars. Its metallic body pulsed with living energy, a fusion of biotechnology, quantum crystals, and artificial intelligence that seemed to beat like a human heart in perfect rhythm. Its azure eyes of light, designed for serenity and power, fixed upon the vast negotiation chamber where council leaders gathered in a mix of dread and fascination. Before them stood a presence almost tangible: humanity, no longer an enemy to be destroyed, but a force to be recognized. Aboard the Prometheus, an army of engineers, scientists, warriors, and diplomats prepared for the most important conversation of their lives. Each carried years of history, resilience, and an unshakable belief in humanity's ability to turn any adversity into advancement. There was electricity in the air, the scent of plasma, the hum of fusion cores working in harmony, the whispered murmur of turbulent thoughts. Humans were known for their tenacity, but here, they were also the symbol of audacious hope. Perhaps they themselves had never fully grasped this strength, but it pulsed in every fiber of their actions since their exile. Admiral Rivera stepped forward, his posture rigid yet charged with resolve. His voice cut through the silence, firm, unwavering, and infused with conviction forged over 25 years of learning and triumph. You fear our technology, our aggression, our speed of evolution, but you do not see us fully. It is that very courage, intelligence, and passion that brought us back. We are not a threat. We are a force that enriches the entire galaxy. The space around seemed to vibrate with the power of his words, while inside the negotiation chamber, silence grew deafening. Then Elena Vasquez stepped forward, her brilliant mind reflected in the holographic displays that swirled around her, scientific breakthroughs, images of allied civilizations, innovation projects that would reshape existence itself. And in that moment, the Council's old fear began to transform into something new. The realization that their own resistance to progress and innovation had trapped them in a bygone age. Humanity, meanwhile, had crystallized into a force of continuous change, a loyalty to innovation, a demonstration that true power lies in creativity and resilience. When the chamber doors finally closed, and the listeners understood that the future would no longer be shaped by obstacles and fear, but by alliances and possibilities, it became clear to all. Humanity had proven its worth, not through violence, but through its indomitable spirit of conquest and renewal. In that instant, the universe witnessed more than a simple reckoning. It beheld the birth of a new order, where human courage was the flame lighting the path for the entire galaxy. After all, humanity has always been strongest when challenged. And in this moment, once again, it showed the cosmos what it is truly made of: an unbreakable fiber, a pride that only grows in the face of adversity.